I'm alone and you can see what I'm doing. It's not any secret anymore because I published this.
Just doing a test. Just doing a test. Right. So, here you go. Just doing a test on this device. Yeah, brain hacking during the night. Friday, 14th. I blocked my main internet connection. 14th of August 2021, it's now 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Be aware that this AI, computer interface technology, and hacking unlawfully, testing onto non-consensual men and women, children around the world. It is called brain interface technology. And the supercomputers, a lot of them, I tried to do a stream, they hacked into the internet to show the document. And so that's based over in Utah, in America. It's a huge collection, all your data, everyone's data, anything you can imagine, it's stored. It's been, the document has been planned by the globalist elites since the 70s. And, well, the burning of my head, my ears, is uncharted. It's never been this bad before. Combined this with the technology they've got all around, you don't think 5G is switched on where you live and hidden perhaps in trees or whatever, and why nature's dying off. Well, we'll just research that. This is extremely demonic. On top of that, in England, you have people think they can get anywhere with protesting on the streets. No. They mean well, but a lot of these people are spiritually waking up, which is great. So these two men, I hope you die. I really hope you just, I no disrespect, but I hope they rot in hell. That's what I mean. Because how dare you try and break in my flat during the night? I have audio evidence of this, right? And I've got the audio evidence. You're trying my door. And the stamina banging, it's called, if anyone doesn't know, research the website in the description, educateyourself.org, and look at the evidence of what target individuals is, mind control. I mean, we'll go back in history. You really need to do your history research if you care to know. Because nobody is making this up. You see, the implanting of human individuals, like, years ago, implanting microchips to your cats, your dogs, in case of going missing. Well, that was the first start years ago. I remember that. Being sold to me before what I know now, when I used to have animals. But go back to date now. Do you think the advanced technology of the digital age is here to benefit the mankind, so to speak? It is not. Every single thing will be linked up to your mind, the hive mind. And if you haven't heard of Brian Chew, whatever you want to think about the American whistleblower, just read what he writes up on the end of his videos that he makes or posts up. It really is so important to get spiritually right with one's inner spiritual essence, as well as practically prepared, because this is a war. I don't give a monkeys anymore what powers that be think about me and spread lies about me to every Tom, Dick and Harry going, and streaming my private life and bugging my flat and everything else on top you can imagine. Yeah. Stuart, the dickhead, excuse my bluntness, who lives at flat 2, I've known him for over 20 odd years where I used to live. He used to use and abuse women. Yes, I witnessed things firsthand. And he's driving around thinking he's got connections with powers that be, public servants, the police, the Freemasonry. It's not just ordinary members. I've got no bones to pick with anyone specifically. It's the technology that's doing all this. And the sick minds, all those centuries ago, are the Illuminati, the 13 bloodlines. And if you're waking up to subjects, they've got to watch you 24 hours a day surveillance. It's bloody like a Truman Show. So this physical existence on Earth is not what you think it is. So on Sabbath day, and I hate to do this, I hate to get a few things I need at this time of day, but I'm not going to bloody be stuck in a torture chamber, you know, while all these so-called Freemason connections are out on holiday. Excuse me, they're really getting rid of the elderly unlawfully. I've already read that document, which I won't repeat on this channel or any format like this. And I've already read the document on the Data Collection Center in Utah, America. And I know firsthand what it's like to be part of the occultists. I was raised in the Mormons as a young girl, and I left as a teenager. There's no wonder I bloody well left. I didn't know what I knew then. And my elder brother, sick, perverted elder brother, all of my members of the family knew full well. And so my ex-army, British Army brother. Now, when you research and find out everything's about business and commerce and the monetary system, which is going to collapse, it's going to fall apart. And so, no scaremongering here. Do the research before it's too late. And get right with your spiritual creator, whatever your beliefs are. And you powers that be, keep monitoring every bloody phone. I mean, these smartphones are not for the benefit or technology. It's to track everything you bloody do and say. The microphone, even though you turned all the settings and changed it all, they still use it. I have an app running in the background monitoring the use of what apps are being used without my consent. Yeah, it's like a mini computer in your hand, and as soon as I can bloody get rid of these bloody devices, excuse me, I will. So I don't need them. I'm old school. Pen and paper job, that's me. All those people that's got skills and washing, go back to old way of doing things. Anybody out there? Look at the videos that people are living off with. How to wash without mainstream electric gas or shower or bath. How to wash your clothes by hand. Yeah, you need to go back to basics. And then you're looking at survival skills, survival items to use. And if you have limited mobility like me, well, be careful. Because the disguise of these elite occultists will come in and play the saviour. Oh, we could help you with this, we could help you with that. We're all a bunch of lies. I've had my character lied about me for so many bloody times, and that is literally dealing with a demon at number 2. And he sold his mother out and put her in her care home, and God rest her soul, she died. He bragged that she was fine. Oh, it's just so he could be her carer all those years ago. He cheated the UK system and another guy that used to be out at flat 7. They made sure that guy was planted there to lie about me as soon as I moved in as well. Everything's been just a disinformation campaign all of so many years to me as a young girl growing up and then having my own children. And then now it's gone on to them as adults and to my grandchildren. It's generational. My mother was targeted. Do you know, I hope this planet gets a shake up. of a proportion, but you need to be spiritually prepared. Seriously, because there's things I'm not able to speak about. And I'm not a whistleblower. I won't expose what I know about that certain individual. And number two, in his connections and what I know about them all these years. It's not my place. There, I leave it into the Creator, my spiritual Jesus Christ, my Lord and Saviour, who died on the cross to save our sins. Yep. And if you haven't read these documents, not the King James Bible versions of King whoever it was, you know, but if you look at within oneself your true spiritual essence and all that healing and things, all that training I've still got, I will still tap into that. Because you might think so many people are of this world, they do not care about people that are homeless, starving, people are struggling, people lost their jobs. All they care about is going to the bloody countryside. We're living in a world, you don't think England's going to have a major lockdown in a matter of weeks? Think again. Because if you don't think comets are over Filipina, the country in Philippines right now, of the earthquake, think again. If you don't think the wildfires over in Europe and extreme heat's anything to do with comets, think again. Do your research. And even you perpetrators out there, this planet is going to be turning upside down if you ain't ready. And your soul isn't ready, your spirit isn't ready, then God bless you, I tell you. Because why do you think the digital age is coming? These documents I found are very old. And when I do the streams, they always hack me, they always play things back, they always set me up. Why? Because I just have knowledge, like anyone else, I'm just me. And the knowledge I have is like anyone can find. Yes, exactly. So unfortunately, when I've been a sky watcher, my other channel was all about sky watching. And I've seen with my own two eyes the demonic shape-shifting. Do you know what shape-shifting is? Do you really what demonic shape-shifting is? It's not GCI made up videos that someone has made up, you know. I've seen this with my own two eyes. I've seen it 2016 when I got hit by a car. Why did I get run over in 2009 when the demonic entities didn't bother to get the driver and do him for what he did to me? And I ended up in a wheelchair for life. Why do you think they go that extent? Why do you think they go to the extent to get my old house broken into? Yeah, by masked men in black. Men in black theory, yeah? And claim every single thing that's happened to me is not by coincidence. It's by design. It's called NK Ultra. But I ain't going to drag myself down to their level. I rise above it. And the point has been is when I share knowledge, you damn well bloody well research it. Because if you don't, come October, September, we run out of time. September, October, November. The date, watch in your diary, because it's a Freemason. The occult is like numbers, okay? Like yesterday, like the 11th of August 2021. What happened on that date around in parts of the world? You want to look at the Skull and Bones. You want to look at who set up the Skull and Bones in America. It's like, what do you call it? It's like unraveling like a demo cards, you know. It's like so much information, just keep it down to one or two things for your own personal situation, because it is overload, the information, extremely overload. But because I have a PR background and research background, I know how to keep it on track. But anyone, you cross the path of these demonic entities, you cross the path, you don't do nothing. You don't cause any harm. You don't injure nobody. But just because you're woken up, they have to monitor. Since 9/11, they monitored, well, even more so before that date, obviously, Edward Snowden, you know, and look at the individual being what he exposed years ago with WikiLeaks. I found those documents years ago and I had no clue what I was looking at until obviously to date. But anyway, point being is August, September, August, and the date this year of 11th of the 11th, 2021. Seriously want to get off grid. Don't rely on batteries if you can help it. If you know about solar power, if the sun works, they might cut that off in darkness. Don't think in America, they said, the dark winter or dark something in the logo. What Trump said something about that. I can't remember the quote. But social media, everything you can imagine of online is monitored. Then don't forget the cameras now, no matter where you are, they're linked up to AI. They zoom in on the finer details. So this is not a rant. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to come across that way. It's just a warning. It's a website at the end of this stream. A link. Educate yourself. Do the research if you care to, if you want to. And get off, you demons. I hope to goodness. The spiritual war is already here. You're not going to win with me, I tell you, because I'm not a perfect angel at all. But I do know the difference between right and wrong. I was raised with my late mum, bless her heart. She did her best. And I will survive. So, you sick perverts, what you're doing to so many around the world. And you send 2 undercover cops in flat 7 and you don't think I don't know what the effing that was about. You don't have any consent to intrude, invade my life, my body, my mind. Who gave you consent? Yeah? Where's a contract that I consent to be part of research development, the world research? Who gave consent for all these corporations worldwide hacking into my private network of the internet provider? What's the point paying for anything when everything's monitored? So seriously, honestly, you need a joke sometimes, because the nature's been died off. The 5G's cutting it off allegedly, and it's affecting the human body. Tonic water, natural health, fruit and veg. Get off the sweet stuff if you can. Easier said than done, because your body is alkaline. It needs to be balanced, and the chemicals, your natural immune system needs to be balanced. Because while we're going through this rough ride, and you need to look at survival, if you've got books, you have first aid books, survival books, very good to get hold of if you still got them, or libraries, or if you're still able to download for free, don't pay for it if you can help it, try and get it for free, and then print them off if you can, and then just make a little booklet and keep it, and get a backpack ready for survival stuff to last you at least 24 hours or 72 hours, and make a list. I don't know if you're size of family or single individual, people are already bugging out. I'm not in that position. So if you're in a city, right, just be prepared. So they're scaremonger. Everything is scaremongering, and that's what I do not do. And so look out for the changes, the effects of when you go outside. Why do you think people wear masks? Right, people think it's because it's controlling of, what's going on in the world with the health crisis, right? But also look at specialist military style. I know it's far-fetched and it might not be able to find one, and you might need to invest 30, 40 or £60 if you've got it of English currency. with filters, okay? Because that iron oxide gases in the air, you're breathing it in on top of the toxicity of the weather manipulation, the weather engineering as well. But powers that be are putting it down to climate change. So whatever you want to believe is up to you. But point is, I don't ever talk or ever make nothing about demonic entities. Yo, hi Mo. Be right back. Yeah. Scaremongers, yet we need to mentally surprise what is to be. This is it. Well done. Well said. Well said. I'm just learning to use this thing here, so well said. Yes, I did fall asleep, by the way. Right. What the heck am I doing here? Hold on. Did my post... Let me just... Oh, yeah, I did that. So, in a nutshell, that guy with his demonic hand I caught on video on my old... If I could have had my old iPad working by now, I've saved the pictures of the orbs, the spiritual orbs. I've witnessed things firsthand. I witnessed a demonic shape-shifting hand in 2006. I saw the homeless guy eye shape-shift right in front of me a week ago. I'm still in shock by that. Seeing things offline with your own two eyes, seeing things other than what you just see on the internet is so important. And gets, like Mo says, he's very intuitive, very spiritual, and so many other people are. No, I did not ever consent to get bloody put into this demonic program. And I said, about 2 o'clock, just after today, they hacked into the internet. Soon I showed you, I was trying to share a link on that stream. On this one, I'm using a mobile stream at the moment to show you the evidence where you can research to prepare that everything online is monitored. Now, I've gone after my son. I know that already, so there's no point. You have to be prepared to cut your ties from your family members, because if they're not waking up to these subjects and they're not even spiritually prepared in their path in their life, you can't do nothing about that. You have to cut your ties. I've learned that the hard way. Oh my goodness me, I helped my son, didn't I, for this past X amount of time. And what do I get? The most demonic sort of like negativity. And I'm seeing in social media posts, he is in the world. Spiritually, research that, because if you really think that these physical items, your physical essence, belongings on this earth is going to get you in a spiritual domain where you really need to be prepared, then it's just really sad. Because this gentleman, he's in England, I'm not sure where parts, it sounds like he is by a coast, and he just posted up a video where really hit home. There's this technology and mind control and much more has been going on for so long now that he's like a street preacher. I don't know how long he's been going, but anyway, he made a quote, a short video, and he was helping a homeless man, and he ended up drinking all these bottles of drink for so long, and somebody found him in his own vomit and blood. He ended up in hospital for 6 months. Then he's ended up in a care home, completely controlled. But this pastor, he has never lost hope in him, and that is brilliant to know, because humanity needs to, some individuals in humanity will not be able to, will not be inclined to think this is a spiritual war. What's the terminology? We don't deal with the flesh and blood. I've seen this all the time, and What happens with mind control? They want to make sure that the human essence do not think about these things, do not acknowledge this messed up world that we're going through. Don't connect the dots. They want people to be like that, so they're easily controlled. Now, if you go back in biblical years and look at the history of, for example, Egypt, and look at the history of how humanity was used in the Babylon era, I was taught that. And what I was taught and raised with the Israelites, I mean, you're talking about AD and BC centuries. And if I'd known what I know now, all those years ago as a young girl, I'd never, bloody well, consented to be baptized into the occult. And I was only 8. What could 8-year-old do at the time? And I witnessed all these things in my own family all these years. Arranged marriages. Families know families. They know each other. They marry their relatives off within. They're not quite DNA related, but yet they know each other. They keep it. It really is like an old-fashioned arranged marriage arrangements without the couples really knowing how they got together, how they got introduced. They don't think. But I've been seeing this for so long behind the scenes of my own family. And I made sure for all these years that my own son and daughter wouldn't go that way. I'd always put it into their hands to make their own choices. So, I have an elder brother that manipulated my daughter at 14. And she tried to manipulate my son, you see. But I know now my own adult older brother was manipulated years ago. Neuristic programming. And he was trained up. I know how my son was, sadly, not my son, my ex-army brother was manipulated during the British military, where he knew a lot of things that's going on already. And that got let slip through my son and told me. So I've got backups and things that were said, done and dusted. But you see, when you find the foundations of a certain occult, and that is heavily linked into Freemasonry, then that just, a lot of these good people, they think they're true Christians and they join these cults and they get so wrapped in their lifestyles and think it's so great and so wonderful for the kids, and they're raised up in it, and then they get married, then they have kids, and their kids grow up, and so forth and so forth. But this corporation is worth trillions around the world. So what I found out years ago, I tried to sue, didn't I? Didn't work. They just labelled me instead, and my whole family did. And I just got rid of them. Didn't want to know. Focus on me and my own family. Sadly, years later, I started uncovering a lot of things. I had this kid come up to me. It's a friend of a friend sort of thing. And his dad sadly lost his wife and their kid. And he was in the pub drinking all the time. And I took in that kid and fed him, made sure he wasn't on the streets. And went to, I thought, public servants would help him. No, they didn't. Years later, I found out he was caught in a child abuse ring. These perverts are still around, and I'm not going to say who they are or any more information about it because it's not my place. I did try to get a blog up years ago but that certain individual was a ringleader. He had a lawyer and threatened me. Yeah. With the words and with the physical threats. And that's a long time ago. And I just, sadly, things you get involved with, things you see over the years, you don't realise until obviously years later. That is absolutely It's like a 360. I won't be on air long because I need to just get the fresh air and get out this torture chamber. It's like people will be sitting at the beach or the park. And how do you know not sitting with a demonic soul? How do you know these kids are not being ones that's been kidnapped and been taken off innocent families without consent, without lawful due process? And when you view webcams or beaches, for example, in England, you see so many of these so-called families. How do you know these foster families are not part of the secret occult, the dark occultists? It does exist all over the world, well organised, and everywhere is infiltrated. Right, I've got to go. My phone is getting hot, so I need to go, especially when I stream like this. May God bless, take care.